and welcome back to Amber's Apron. Today we are doing an oldie but goodie with a few tweaks, and I call this a Cuppa Cobbler. This recipe is the standard Cuppa stick Cuppa. Cup of flour, cup of sugar, cup of milk, stick of butter, and then your can of whatever fruit you want. Today we're using peach. I have a few tweaks I make, and it's my favorite. And let's get started. So we are going to take, and I keep my measuring cup in here. This is a cup of flour, regular old flour. And then, just going to use this same for my cup of sugar. And y'all, this recipe I have been cooking since I was a little girl. This is the one my mama taught me on. My aunt uses it. But then I made it my own. So I got a cup of Cuppa. Here's my cup of milk. Now, if you've made this, you've used white milk. We're using buttermilk. Game changer. If you have not tried buttermilk in any of your cobblers or even in your cakes, like any recipe that calls for milk, I dare you to use buttermilk. It just changes it for the better. It's so good. So I'm adding my buttermilk, and I know it sounds like it would be awful with any type of sweet cobbler. You want it to be sweet and yummy, and buttermilk is just icky. I don't like buttermilk, but man, I cook with it. It's so good. It takes it over the line, and you'll see. It's so good. And then my stick of melted butter. It's for the most part melted. And I mix all this in here. Now, when I grew up, I learned to melt the butter, pour it in my pan, and then you mix all your ingredients together and dump it on top. I don't do that. I don't do that. The cobbler, it's good. But I like the gooey part of the cobbler. And I don't know if you've had this recipe. Surely to goodness you've had. It's been around since at least the 70s. The gooey part is just the best part. Like some people like the edges of brownies and they do that whole, that's how I am with the gooey part of the cobbler. The gooey part is just the gooey part. It's so good. When you use buttermilk, I don't know what it does. It makes it shiny. I know that. That's like one big difference. But when you mix it all up, the butter goes into every little piece of this. So then you dump it out. That butter's mixed in everywhere, and you're going to get the goo throughout. And that's the best part. So good. So I've got my cup of flour, cup of sugar, cup of buttermilk, and stick of butter. That's the base. I'm going to add, now I talked about my homemade vanilla extract my cousin Joy made me for Christmas, and it only says in here ingredients: Tahitian vanilla beans and vodka, bottled November 2020. So what I do, I've used some out of this. You just replenish it with more vodka. So you add some more vodka, fill it up, and then shake it. Shaking it is where the magic is. I don't know if you can see. I doubt you can see this. When you shake it, the vanilla beans, can you see it? I doubt it. I don't think you can. The vanilla beans, they get worked up. They get worked up in here, and then that's what it's helping flavor that vodka. And anytime you cook with any alcohol, the actual alcohol cooks out. I'm a fan of cooking with alcohol. I make these mushrooms with whiskey because the flavor that it adds, it's just so good, and the alcohol always cooks out. I'm going to say about a teaspoon of vanilla. That's probably more than a teaspoon, but oh, it's so good. I hope you can see it. I hope I can mix it up to where you can see the little flakes of vanilla. Gosh, I don't even know. Can you see the vanilla bean kind of hanging out on the side of the glass? I don't think you can. What I'm going to do, I'm, halfway down. I'm going to add more vodka up to it, and then I'll just shake it. And I'll put it in my cabinet. And then, when I'm down in that cabinet, if I'm baking or cooking or whatever, I'm going to take this out and I'm just going to shake it some more. Just going to keep shaking it. And what that's going to do is that's going to flavor the vodka to taste like vanilla. And it's invincible, or what is it when it lasts forever? Yeah, that word. So you never run out. You just keep replacing what fluid you lose with more vodka, and you just keep shaking it. And that is going to really flavor it and make awesome vanilla. And now I'm just going to mix it. And I'm using my whisk attachment because I really want everything mixed in well. It's a really wet batter, so you can afford it. No lumps, no bumps. And you can see when you do this, it's almost like it has a sheen to it. Like it's like, I know it looks wet, but it's got this sheen to it. That's the buttermilk, and that's exactly what's going to happen when it cooks up. It's going to have this sheen to it. Now we're doing peach cobbler today because that's what my little papa likes. And normally you would use a small can of peaches. I'm not normal. This is a 29-ounce can of sliced peaches in heavy syrup. Yeah, we want the syrup. That's going to help with the goo too. What I like to do is pour a little bit of the juice and even a few of the peaches in here, because I'm going to pulverize them in with my batter. Okay, so I still have probably a little more than a half of a can of juice left in here. Like, you can't see it. I'm not even going to show you. I want it to be on top, and you'll see. So I'm just going to beat this on high and kind of pulverize those peaches in here. They're still going to be big chunks, but they're going to be kind of distributed through the actual batter. Plus, I want to mix in that juice. The goo is my favorite part. I want plenty of goo. Okay, I'm going to try to hold this up in hopes you can see it. The batter is going to look like what can best be described as a Chick-fil-A peaches and cream milkshake. Have you had that? Oh man, life-changing. It looks like, can you kind of see those peaches? I don't want to pour it out. Remember that time I made the squash and it poured out? So it looks like peaches and cream milkshake from Chick-fil-A. And if you've not gotten one, you need to go. Do yourself a favor and go. Just don't go on Sunday. So now I've got my 9x13 pan, my Baker's Joy. I love this. I prefer it over Pam. So if you're using the Pam with flour, try this. It's awesome. I feel like it lasts longer, and it really does work. I'm not focused about the bottom as much as the sides, because that's where the cobbler is going to stick. And I don't even know if I'm holding my pan right. This is just how I do it. Okay, so I've got that sprayed. Now I'm going to take my batter, and I'm just going to, do you see the chunks? Did you see that? The chunkiness? Oh, seriously, y'all, it looks just like a milkshake, which makes me want a Chick-fil-A milkshake. And I'm just going to scrape this out. And this is our batter. And this is a stupid easy dessert. So if you have people coming over last minute and you need a little snack, this is awesome. It does take almost an hour to bake, so keep that in mind. If you have a last minute party to go to and you have to take a dessert, if you have a little papa who swears he's diabetic and refuses to eat sugar but loves your peach cobbler, this is the perfect recipe. And you can actually use it with, if you're going to use fresh fruit. I have done this with blackberries. Fresh blackberries, and all you have to do, because you need that syrup, you need that heavy syrup for the goo, the best part. So if you use any type of fresh fruit, especially berries, make a simple syrup on your pot of water and a cup of sugar. Boil it down until it reduces to where it's pretty thick. Then add your blackberries in, give it a stir, take it off the heat. Do this exact same thing I've just done without the peaches. Don't pulverize the berries in there. You don't need to. Make your batter, and then take your simple syrup with your berries and just dump over top and bake it. Oh man, will make you want to smack your mama. What I'm doing, I'm taking this can of peaches that has about, I don't want to say 3/4 of the juice left, but it's definitely more than half. And I'm just going to pour it over. And I'm definitely going to get that juice. That juice makes the goo. And then you can totally throw it in the oven like this. We eat with our eyes, so I want to make it kind of pretty. So I'm just going to kind of stir those peaches, make sure they're in every little corner and not just globbed up in the middle. And like I said, these are the sliced, so it's not, you know, you've got lots of peaches in there. Man, oh, it's gonna be so good. There is a little bit of juice on top, and I'm just kind of swirling it in there because I want that goo everywhere. The goo is where it is. And y'all, I'm gonna cut a piece and eat it and show you what the goo is I'm talking about. If you've had this before, you know, because that goo is just, so good. That's it. This is one of the easiest desserts, except for time. So, you know, it's time management, a big plus. If you've got plenty of time, it's worth it. So what I'm doing, I'm sticking this in a 375-degree oven for, I'll check it at the 45-minute mark, but after an hour, I'll take it out and we'll eat it. Y'all, check this out. Look at it. Look at the goo. That is the goo I'm talking about. Y'all, I got it out of the oven and it's beautiful. I don't know if you can see this or not. It's perfect. So we're gonna take a little bite, okay? Just a little bite. Just the tiniest. Oh, do you see this? Just the tiniest. Oh my gosh, look at this. Oh my goodness, look at this goo. That is what I like. That's the money shot right there. The goo. I'm just gonna dig in for just a little bit more. Oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Now I'm not real sure why. It's like the edges got a little dark. And I don't really know why unless I had it up too high. I may have had it too high on the rack. I bet that's what I did because I didn't put it on the very bottom. And I have a gas oven. Now I am going to take the rest of this to my little Papa and Granny because they like peach cobbler. But this little bit's for me. Oh my goodness. Y'all, you just don't know. Traditional peach cobbler has more of the crust, like more of the breading that you see on top. It has more of the crust. This has more of the goo. And it's because we mixed our butter in with our batter. Our butter batter. It's the butter batter. And I used that huge can of peaches that has the, you know, more juice. It just makes that goo. That goo is in every bite. I mean, look at it. It's sticking to my spoon. It's so gooey. Okay. If I burn my tongue, it was worth it. Oh my goodness. It's my happy dance. I'm telling you. Oh my goodness. Now, my little Granny and Papa, they've got a carton of ice cream at their house because I took it to them. And that is the only thing that you could do to make this better is add a scoop of vanilla bean ice cream. But the goo, oh my gosh, the goo in this, I just, I love this stuff. And see, it was stupid easy. Stupid easy. If you have an hour, let's say hour and 15 minutes tops, you have time to mix this together, bake it, and get where you're going. Because this, man, it's so good. You gotta make it. You gotta make it, taste it, and tell me what you think. Because this is slapping mama good. Mm. Try it. Seriously. Cheap, easy, definitely Southern, and it's oh so good. Have a happy day.